Hello, come to you with a review of The First Bad Man by Miranda July, a 2015 or 2016 novel, I can't remember right now, by this screenwriter, director, actress, performance artist, novelist, short story writer, Miranda July. And let's just take in the glory that is that cover. It's the bold, really plain text. You don't even have the little sans serif text, I believe. Oh, is what it's called. And which actually is does a really good job of kind of getting you into the spirit of this very odd, different world that Miranda July takes you into. This is a sparely narrated novel by the main character Cheryl, who is a 40-year-old woman living alone, works at a women's kind of self protection kind of studio where they teach self defense, and indeed that comes into the book. The first bad man actually is describing one of these scenarios, and they're getting confused about which bad man it is. It's the first bad man. There's also sort of like almost kind of a primordial thing with the first bad man, and kind of like almost like cave people, kind of that kind of thing. Cheryl is someone who she's the narrator, and she has a very particular way of looking at life, somewhat um, divorced from how you might look at life, how I might look at life. I'll put it that way. She has a strange belief that a 6 month old infant, what's his name? Here I have to get. I wrote it down. Believes that Kublenko Bondi is this reoccurring. I won't hold up my notes for you to look at. A reincarnated baby that always passes through her life, that whom she thinks she's destined to be with. In the thing, she runs her life very rigidly. She's got very set goals. You do get the sense that this is somebody who is what's the words are neuroatypical. Just runs a different way of looking at things, and has a tendency to look at things from the outside, some things that are quite horrific, from a very kind of non-judgmental way, which can kind of really disturb you as a reader as you're going along. She has this weird, odd relationship with one of the board members, Philip, who is a philanderer. He is a philanderer who has got a 16-year-old girlfriend, whom he keeps on asking her for kind of her judgment, her approval for him to have a relationship, to have a sex with this underage girl. And unlike us, Cheryl's enough back that she does not immediately say, this is criminal, get the fuck away from her. This is she has all this kind of odd stuff, like maybe this is something that he's made up, and we're having some kind of an adult game or something like that, she almost thinks. Through and there's throughout the book of like her trying to kind of come to terms with her own sexuality. Like, she doesn't really feel like she has sexuality, and when she does have sexuality, she imagines she's Philip, and she's using sort of the kind of the I can only describe it as kind of porny like language, like calling breasts jugs and other things. It gets quite dirty and erotic that way. So she's got that part of her life. She's also someone who seems to get run over easily. Her bosses come to her and say, "We're having a horrible time with our daughter Clee, who is this 20-year-old, basically a bombshell, like a really beautiful young woman. We're having trouble with her. She can live with you for a while, can't she?" And indeed, she comes to live, and they get into this weird. I keep on saying weird, but like kind of abusive. They start attacking and hitting each other, but it becomes kind of adult games, as you would put it. Then there's no actual. At the beginning, you're at the beginning of this thing, because like I looked at the tags on Goodreads. It's like, oh, it's LGBT. It's like, is this supposed to be LGBTQ plus kind of relationship, because it could also just be that Clee's, is holding down Cheryl and just beating the hell out of her every once in a while, but Cheryl's okay with it. It's like, what the hell is going on here? But as it goes along, it's like, oh, okay, something else develops there. She's got a therapist in the book, and then she's got the therapist's secretary, and there's a whole relationship there. I think it's one of these books that, depending on who you are, you're either going to find this annoyingly kind of quirky for quirky's sake, or if you're like me, there's like almost like, wow, it's like I can feel a genuine person here, a genuine difference, which is what I come to literature for. This is a really a different person, and you get so immersed in her life that you start not judging her for stuff like her relationship with Phil and what she knows what Phil's been doing, and however that confirms later on, or her weirdly obsessive, it's obsessive but also abusive relationship with Clee. And you start accepting these things, and you start just kind of becoming a part, getting sucked into her life, and it's like, oh, this is like, you start imagining yourself as someone's like, oh, if I took a different step, if I stepped over here, this could be my reality too. I know someone was talking about, she also writes short stories, and she says like, oh, I can take Miranda July better in short story length. I think for myself, no, if I went from one odd, it would be too much. But being immersed in Cheryl's life through this entire novel was a really magical thing. And at the end, you could imagine a Hollywood ending, or you could imagine that this is just Cheryl imagining again. I think it was a measure of how much I cared about Cheryl, that I wanted to believe in the Hollywood ending for her, because I did care about her in the end, and I wanted the best for her. I think it's one of these things of, I read for character in books, and I really got oddly fascinated and found a kinship with this very odd woman in this book. So, yeah, if you're into that sort of thing, yay. And if you're not, run away. I think the only way I know of Miranda July before this was I would listen to various movie podcasts talk about her very odd movies and go, yep, that sounds like some artsy shit there. And, I guess this is an artsy book, but I found myself really immersed in it. And it's been a little while since I actually read the book, but it's one of those ones that stayed in your head, so I felt like I could still do a review of it. So yeah, The First Bad Man, a novel by Miranda July. Check it out if you dare. All right, more videos later.